Shalom, everyone. In the 12th verse of the 84th Psalm, it says, Ki shemesh u'magen Hashem Elokim. Hashem meaning the four-letter name of God, Yud and a Hey and a Vav and a Hey. Again, Ki shemesh u'magen Hashem Elokim, which means the sun, shemesh, and its shield, the Magain, that is the relationship between these two names of God, Yud-K, Vav-K, and Elokim. But what does that mean? So if we take the metaphor of the sun, so we know that if there would be no ozone, there would be no atmosphere, the radiation from the sun would quite literally burn up the earth. No life would be possible. And so just like the atmosphere, the ozone is the shield, is the magain for the rays of the sun. When the shield allows the proper amount of light to come through, it nurtures life. Everything is nurtured by the sun. And so here we have the relationship between Hashem Elokim. So on a deeper level, if the light of God would shine in its full force, it would nullify the world. Just like the metaphor of the sun would destroy the earth if there was no shield, there was no protective atmosphere. So if the power, the light, the energy of God would shine in its full force, creation could not even exist. It would be nullified in that light. So there has to be a shield. So that, we're told, is the relationship between these two names of God. The Yud and Hey and Vav and Hey, the four-letter name of God, the most essential name of God, this represents the transcendental light of God. And Elokim is the protector. Now, it's very important to know that the gematria of Elokim equals the word HaTeva. Nature, like with a capital N, HaTeva. The essence of nature equals this name Elokim. So the way that God reveals himself in the world is through nature. But in a certain way, nature hides God. God is very, very hidden. And yet, what we know about God is revealed through nature. That's why the Rambam, Maimonides, said, if you want to know about God, you want to learn about God, you want to understand God, look at the world that he created. Because that is where all the hints that we're going to get are hidden and revealed at the same time through nature. Now, let's go back to this idea of the sun and its shield as a relationship between these two names of God. So the numerical value of the four-letter name of God, Yud and Hey and Vav and Hey, is 26. We already mentioned that the numerical value of the name Elokim is 86. So there's a difference of 60. A word, a very important word in Hebrew that equals 60 is kli, a vessel. In Kabbalah and Chassidut, constantly we're talking about lights and vessels. In other words, without a proper vessel, we could not contain the light. Or in a more material way, if you want to drink some water, so you have to put it in a glass, in some kind of a kli, some kind of container, or the water will just flow. No way to contain it. You have to put it in a vessel. So Elokim is the vessel for Yud-K, Vav-K. And that we see in Gematria. Kli equals 60, and 26 for God's name is 86. So Elohim is Kli, Yud and Hey, and Vav and Hey. Now, let's go one step further. So what is the vessel for Elohim? We already said that Elohim is the vessel for Yud K Vav K, but what contains Elohim? So we already said that the gematria of Elohim equals Hateva, nature. But we can also see that nature is also connected to the word olam, world. Our universe, our world, that is where nature is happening. The numerical value of world is 146. So here again, between 146 for world and Elohim, which is 86, again we have 60. Once again, that 60 is Kli. So Kli Elohim, the vessel of Elohim, is the world. That is what can contain this divine energy that we call Elohim. Now, usually when we talk about the four-letter name of God, it's mostly associated with loving kindness, compassion, giving, transcendental. And the name Elohim is related to might, strength, sometimes severity, judgment. And the two sfirot that most represent these two energies is chesed and gevura. And many times we think of them as being opposites. Chesed is giving and loving kindness, and gevura is holding back and restraint. But on Yom Kippur, in the final service of Yom Kippur called Ne'ilah, after a whole day of fasting and prayer, and it's really the end of the 10 days of tshuva, Aseret Yemei Tshuva, from Rosh Hashanah through Yom Kippur, and we get to the end of Ne'ilah. We're getting towards the climax of Yom Kippur, and so we end Ne'ilah. Everyone yells out, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Hear, O Israel, God our God, God is one. One time we say that. And then we say, Baruch, Shem, Kavod, Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. Blessed is the name of God and his kingdom forever and ever. And we say that 3 times. And then, like, the energy is like off the charts. Then everyone yells out 7 times, Hashem Hu HaElokim. 7 times. At that point, most people are yelling it at the top of their lungs. But it's not just the yelling, it's the understanding that these 2 names of God, they're in essence one. And that's why we're saying that the vessel of the 4-letter name of God is Elohim. They seemingly represent 2 opposite energies, but ultimately everything is one. That's how we started in Ne'ilah, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. So here again we have this verse, Ki Shemesh Mogein Hashem Elokim, and it's revealing a very, very deep idea. I want to add one more thing, is at the burning bush. So part of what God is revealing to Moshe, he reveals that this name, Yud K Vav K, God says, Zeh Shemi Le'olam. This is my name forever. This is the idea that this is the most essential name of God. Zeh Shmi Le'olam. And so the word Le'olam means forever, but Olam, as we've just learned, also means world. But it also means something else, and that means to hide. He'elem means to hide. And in the Torah, this word le'olam is written without a vav. It's what's called chaser. It's without a full spelling. And from this, the sages learn that God is saying, this is my most essential name, but it's so holy that it has to be hidden. And that's why we don't pronounce God's name the way it's written. We use a different name, the name Adni, Aleph and Dalet and Nun and Yud. Every time we make a bracha, the way it's written, Baruch Atah Hashem, it's written Yud and Hey and Vav and Hey, but we don't pronounce it that way. And that's what the sages say. This is my name, not only forever, but also to hide. And that is the secret of what we were saying before, that God in the world is both hidden and revealed at the same time. It's the sun, but also the shield. You have to have the shield to hide the full force, but if you look within and beyond and through the shield, we get to the essential name of God, which fills all worlds. So we should be blessed to learn these profound secrets, and we should meditate on them, and it should bring us closer and closer to the only one.